Welcome students once again, and it is the class of number theory, and from the previous video we are discussing the topic of divisibility and prime numbers. So what are the prime numbers? You know it very well that prime numbers are those positive integers which have only two divisors, 1 and the number itself. So here we are going to do some properties, some articles relating to prime numbers. So it is, the first thing is that you can say it a theorem. Every composite number n has at least one prime divisor less than strictly less than square root of n, may be equal to under root n. It's not strictly less than, it may be equal to. So this is the theorem and we are going to prove it now. What are composite numbers? Composite numbers are those which are not prime. So let n be a composite number. Let n be a composite number. Now since n is a composite number, definitely it will have some divisor other than 1 and the number itself. So let a divides n. Let a divides n. So definitely there will be some other integers b in the set of integers such that n can be written as a into b by the definition of divisibility. So n can be written as a into b. One thing is to be noted, that neither both a and b can be greater than 1, nor both a and b can be less than root n. If a is greater than root n and b is also greater than root n, then multiplying these two inequalities we will get ab is greater than n. That means n is greater than n, which is not possible, which is a contradiction because no number is greater than itself. Similarly, both a and b cannot be less than n, because if both are less than n, their product will be less than n. If both are less than root n, sorry, not n, if both are less than root n, then their product will be less than n. That means n is less than n, and it is also not possible, as no natural number is less than itself. So one thing is clear, that at least one of a and b is greater than root n and the other is less than root n. So without loss of generality, suppose your a is less than root n, maybe equal to. Now if under root n itself is a prime number, if a itself is a prime number, then we have done the theorem, because we have obtained a prime number less than or equal to under root n which divides n. And if a is not a prime number, suppose a is a composite number, then definitely it will have a prime divisor, and whatever the prime divisor a will have will be less than a, will be greater than 1, and that p which is the prime divisor of a is less than a is greater than 1, and a is less than or equal to square root of n gives p is less than or equal to under root n. So p is a divisor of a and a is a divisor of under root n, so that means p is a divisor of under root n also. So we are having a divisor p, a prime divisor less than or equal to square root of n, and that fact we will use when we will learn how to apply sieve of Eratosthenes. This fact will be taken into account at that time. Another thing is that there are infinitely many primes of the type 4x minus 1. This is another theorem. There are infinitely many primes there are infinitely many primes of the type 4x minus 1. So, on the contrary, we will suppose that there are only finitely many primes of this type, and then we will arrive at some contradiction. For the proof, let P1, P2, P3 and so on, Pn be the only primes, of the type 4x minus 1. Consider capital N, that is equal to 4 times product of all these. That means you can say P1, P2, P3, Pn and minus 1. Then this number n is also of the type 4x minus 1. And we will show that it is a prime and it is of the type 4x minus 1, which is not one among these. So there will be a contradiction, because we have supposed that these are the only primes of the type 4x minus 1, and it will prove that there are infinitely many primes of the type 4x minus 1. So first of all, one thing is to be noted, that if we divide this n by 4, or any number by 4, if it is odd, clearly n is odd, no doubt, n is odd. So I am taking an odd number and dividing it by 4. So there are two possibilities. Remainder is either 1 or 3. So this m can be written as 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3. And further, this 4q plus 3, I can write it as 4q plus 4 minus 1. That means 4q plus 1 minus 1. That means every odd number is either of the type 4q plus 1 or is of the type 4q minus 1. Every odd number can be expressed in one of these two forms. Okay. Now, your n is a prime number. Sorry, your n is an odd number. Your n is an odd number. If it is a composite number, then it must have divisors. And all the divisors cannot be of the type 4m plus 1. Because if all the divisors are of the type 4m plus 1, the product will also be of the type 4m plus 1. Look at, if you are going to multiply 4a plus 1 and 4b plus 1, what the result you are going to obtain is 4ab plus a plus b and plus 1. So if you take two numbers of the type 4m plus 1, their product is also of the type 4m plus 1. So if all the divisors of n are of the type 4m plus 1, number n should also be of the type 4n plus 1, which is not the case. So all the divisors cannot be of the type 4m plus 1. At least one divisor will be of the type 4x minus 1. But all the prime numbers of the type 4n minus 1 are here. So that means this number must have a prime divisor from this list. So suppose it be pi. Let pi be a prime divisor of the type 4x minus 1, which divides n. Pi divides 10 n. Also your pi divides 4 times p1, p2, p3 and so on pn. Why? Because pi is one among these prime divisors, these prime numbers. So pi must divide the product where pi itself is lying in the product. So pi divides n and pi divides this number, and if a prime number divides two numbers, then it must divide their difference. So this means your pi divides n minus 4 times p1, p2 and pn. But this n minus this number is equal to minus 1. So that means your pi divides minus 1, or you can say pi divides 1, which is not possible because pi is a prime number. A prime number cannot be a divisor of 1. So we are at the point of contradiction. And why it contradiction is there? Because we have supposed that this number n is a composite number. So n is not a composite number clearly. N is a prime number. N is a prime number and is greater than each one of these numbers lying in this list. This n is greater than p1 because it is 4p1 minus 1. This n is greater than p2 because n is 4 times p2 here in the product minus 1 and so on. So this n is greater than each of pi's. N is greater than each of pi's and n is a prime number which is of the type 4x minus 1. But we have supposed that all the numbers, prime numbers of the type 4x minus 1 are there in this list. So once again we arrive at some contradiction. And why this contradiction this time? Because we have supposed that these are the only prime numbers of the type 4x minus 1. So this is not possible. That means there are infinitely many prime numbers of the type 4x minus 1. So there is a similar proof for another theorem which says that there are infinitely many prime numbers. So there are infinitely many prime numbers. So you can prove it. You can prove it at your own end using almost a similar concept. And if you are getting any problem in solving these questions which I am going to give you as an exercise, then you can ask these questions in the comment box so that in the next video I will include the proof of these two. So at this point I am giving this theorem, this exercise for you. You can prove it using the similar concept and I am moving ahead. Another important thing is, normally it comes to our mind that if we look at the list of prime numbers, these are 2, 3, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 27, 29, 31 and so on. So there is a thing in our mind, okay, what is the difference between two consecutive prime numbers? If you move up to the 100 or 150 or 200, the difference between two consecutive prime numbers is at the maximum 8 or maybe somewhere 10, which is I think not possible here up to 200 or 150. So maximum difference you will find 8. So it comes to our mind that the difference between two consecutive prime numbers can be at most 8 or can be at most 10 or can be at most 20 or can be at most 30, but this is not the case because there are arbitrary large gaps in the series of primes, and that is what we are going to prove next. So it is next theorem. It says there are arbitrary large gaps in the series of primes. In the series of primes. That means you can find a large number of consecutive composite numbers. And that will prove that there is arbitrary large gaps in the series of primes. So I am going to prove that whatever the value of n you can take, you can find consecutive n composite numbers as per those selection of n. So how to prove it? Proof is very easy. Let n be arbitrary large number. You can take n to be in millions, in billions, in trillions. You can take any large number. Then look at these numbers. Consider n plus 1 factorial plus 2, n plus 1 factorial plus 3, n plus 1 factorial plus 4, and so on, n plus 1 factorial plus n plus 1. These are n consecutive natural numbers, and each one of these is a composite number. Why? Because this one is divisible by 2. N plus 1 factorial is divisible by 2. 2 is also divisible by 2. So their sum is divisible by 2. This number is divisible by 3. because n plus 1 factorial is divisible by 3, 3 is divisible by 3, so their sum is also divisible by 3. Similarly, this number is divisible by 4, this number is divisible by n plus 1. So here we are having n consecutive composite numbers. So when you will reach this stage, you will have consecutive n composite numbers. And what is n? N is arbitrarily large. In the starting, I have told you, you can take n to be 1 million, to be billions, to be in trillions. So you can find billion, million, trillions consecutive natural composite numbers. So there are arbitrarily large gap in the series of primes. So this is how you can prove that there are arbitrarily large gaps in the series of primes. And now, sieve of Eratosthenes, how to identify prime numbers from the list of natural numbers. So I'm going to write here natural numbers from, you can say, 1 to 100, and then I will use the method of sieve of Eratosthenes to find, to locate, to identify the prime numbers between these. And it is very easy to apply, it is very easy to locate the prime numbers in this list. How to do that? I'm not going to write all because it will take too much time. I'm directly going out to 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 and 100. First of all, we know that a number always have a prime divisor less than or equal to under root n. So here your n is 100. So what is under root 100 is 10. So definitely there will be a prime divisor if the number is composite. There will be a divisor which is less than or equal to 10. So what are the prime divisors less than or equal to 10? These are 2, 3, 7. These are only 3. So you are just to remove the multiples of these, and that is also very easy. If you want to remove the multiples of 2, what you have to do? Just delete those numbers having even number in the units place, and this is very easy. This line will be deleted, 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 this line will also be deleted, but yes, 2 will not be deleted, and 1 is neither prime nor composite, so 1 can also be deleted. So now you are left with these numbers, and now you are to remove the divisors of the multiples of 3, and multiples of 3 are in diagonals. So these are the multiples of 3, and then 5, 7 and then 9. Here was 6. So 3 you are not to leave, 3 you will have to keep. 6. So this line will also be deleted. Then this line 9, and here you will have 18 here. So this line will also be deleted in the same fashion, and you will be left with, I'm going to delete these also. But deleting is not a good way. You can put a cross there so that they will be there in the list, but we know that these are not primes. Now multiples of 7. So what you have to do? 7 you will have to keep. Now what I have to do? 1 down and 3 back. So 1 down and 3 back is 16, 15, 14. So 14 will be crossed. Then once again 1 down and 3 back. These numbers were already eliminated. So 1 down and 3 back. This is 24. Then 23, 21, 22 and 21. So 21 will be crossed. Then 1 down and 3 back. 3 back from 40. So 40, 39, 37, 35 will be crossed. And so on. In this fashion, you will remove these numbers also from the list. And what the numbers, then 5 was also a prime number here in this list. Sorry. So the multiples of 5 will also be removed. This list will be removed and 0 is already removed. So now you are left with only the prime numbers between 2 and 100. So these are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and then there will be 23. Y is being deleted, I don't know, you check it, cross check it once again, and 23 and then 29 and so on. You can find all the prime numbers by using the sieve of Eratosthenes. So I'm going to stop this video here. In the next video we'll have more and more concepts, more and more problems, articles, theorems, lemmas on divisibility. Till then, thank you once again.